Spotting a manipulator is a little tricky, since most people manipulate in one way or another, even if they don't think of it as such. There are plenty of body language signals you can watch for that suggest deception: constricted pupils, flushed cheeks, shuffling feet, frequent blinking, false smiles, and so on, but research suggests that even when you know what to watch for, these signals are unreliable. They can all be signals for basic anxiety. Instead, I think it's far more useful to recognize manipulation when you see it, rather than manipulators, and know how to respond to the most common gambits. Types of manipulation. Shame. The most popular manipulative style I tend to encounter is shame. When someone wants you to do something, instead of directly asking you to do it, they'll attempt to make themselves the arbiter of your moral worth. "I want you to clean your room" becomes, "Good children clean their rooms." "I want you to make me dinner" becomes, "A good spouse would make their spouse dinner." This kind of manipulation hinges on your belief that they have the right to define what's right and wrong, and then judge you for it. If you don't agree with the moral premise spouses are not obligated to cook dinner, or you don't believe the manipulator is the proper judge of your worth, you disarm them. Part of the battle happens in your own mind. Believing, "I am the final judge of my worth," in all circumstances will go a long way to making sure shame users can't touch you. To respond to their manipulations, find something to agree with that doesn't acknowledge their shaming subtext. "You're right, at some point, I should clean my room." "You're right, I imagine spouses cook for each other from time to time." Force them into directly asking for what they want, and then agree, say no, or compromise. Preemptive compliment. This manipulative technique involves complimenting the person for behaving the way you want them to behave in the future. "You're such an agreeable person. Can I ask you for a favor?" We want to accept the compliment, and we want to behave consistently with their positive characterization, so we feel pressure to acquiesce to whatever they ask us to do. The counter to this manipulative gambit is to divide the two statements into the separate things they are. Not agreeing to their request does not mean you can't accept the compliment. "Thanks, I try to be agreeable, but I'm not up for helping you to move on Saturday." Nonverbal criticism. Criticizing people can piss them off, so most people don't like to do it directly. Instead, they'll express their displeasure nonverbally. Frowning, looking disgusted, rolling your eyes, tapping your finger, etc. are all examples. By not verbalizing your criticism, you maintain plausible deniability as to whether you criticize them at all. You can hurt your target, and make them emotionally react, while appearing calm, collected, and completely innocent yourself. "Geez, touchy today aren't we?" The goal is to hurt them, make them feel foolish, or provoke them into doing something irrational. Countering this gambit is difficult, and is primarily internal. Cognitively, if you can remind yourself that their judgments don't matter, it can calm you down. Slowing your breathing and reminding yourself to relax can help as well. If you want, you can ask them about their specific gesture. Treat it just like you'd treat a direct insult. "I noticed you rolled your eyes just now. Is there something you want to say?" The more you can encourage them to communicate directly, rather than passive-aggressively, the better. Indirect criticism. Indirect criticism is similar to nonverbal criticism, but the passive aggression lies in the implication behind the words rather than the nonverbal cues. It usually takes the form of backhanded compliments. "Your shirt looks great, it's very slimming." The goal is to make the person feel insecure, but unable to respond without appearing rude or touchy. The counter is similar to the nonverbal criticism. Much of it is internal, reminding yourself that they're acting like an asshole and their opinion has no bearing on your worth. You can also call them out on it. "Thanks for the compliment, but I don't appreciate that you made it so backhanded." "Whoa, touchy today huh?" "Nope, I'm fine, thanks. I'm asking you to not use backhanded compliments around me." Broken record. The broken record is simple. The manipulator asks for things over and over again. Salespeople are explicitly taught this approach. Overcoming the broken record is simply a matter of saying no one more time than they're willing to ask. Tell them no, and ask them to leave you alone. The yes ladder. Originally attributed to Ben Franklin, the yes ladder involves getting people to consent to small things while gradually asking them for more. When people start getting in the rhythm of agreement, they start to implicitly trust the person they're agreeing with, until they're willing to agree with things they never would have agreed to originally. Is this 200 Washington Street? Yes. And that is in Phoenix? Yes. Your phone number is 555-555-5555. Yes. You indicated that you are looking for help planning your estate? Yes. Our team of financial professionals would be happy to meet with you free of charge. Would you be interested in meeting this week? Yes. The counter to the yes ladder is to recognize it happening. It's a psychological quirk of humans, but like a bad habit or a craving, as long as you recognize it, and have an action plan for when it happens, you can control yourself and stay true to your true desires. When someone is using the yes ladder, just say no. Intimidation. The moral statements provoke shame. The criticisms provoke anger. Intimidation provokes fear. Depending on the nature of the intimidation, you may have to give in and press charges later. Your health and survival are more important than winning an argument, or anything else. If you can leave, it's your best option. In short, the best way to recognize manipulators is to observe them manipulating, and insulate yourself so you will not be their victim. If all else fails, trust your gut. It will tend to be right.